Hello, my name is Sam Curtis, and today I will be showing you how I made a case for my fly box. The reason why I'm making this case is because every time I go fly fishing, I need to bring a backpack with me on the water to carry this fly box, which becomes annoying, and also the backpack restricts my casting motion. So I thought, why don't I just make some sort of case that could attach to my raider so I don't need to bring a backpack anymore. To begin, I needed to make a mold, which I made out of wood, by first measuring and cutting the size of the fly box on a piece of plywood. Once done cutting, I needed to round the corners and edges like the fly box to get the same shape as the lid. I also needed a less thicker piece of wood that had the same shape to raise the mold up so that the two halves could fit in each other, but also allow room for the fly box. Once the mold was made, I then attached it to a larger piece of wood and drilled holes around the edges of the mold, so that the vacuum could suck the air out. This can be seen on the right. Then by attaching the whole piece of the frame that goes over the vacuum, I am now ready to vacuum form. The material chosen for the case is a type of PVC plastic which is being screwed into the two wood frames. The plastic is then placed in the oven for 2 minutes at 400 degrees. Once I pull the frame with the plastic on it out of the oven, I placed and pushed it down over the mold and then engaged the vacuum. Once it looks like the air is sucked out of the plastic, I disengage the vacuum and let it cool for 20 seconds. I then proceed to pull the plastic off the mold, and there is part of the case. I did this procedure twice, so I had two sides of the case. After getting the other half of the case vacuum formed, I then took a Dremel and shaved off the bottom edges of the halves so that the walls were straight, allowing the two pieces to slide into each other that in result would make a box. But I soon realized that I made a mistake because I made both halves of the case the same height, which made it so the fly box wouldn't fit between the two halves. In order to fix this, I added another thinner piece of the plywood to the bottom of the mold and vacuum formed another piece. Now looking at the piece, I cut about an inch off the top of each half so the fly box could slide into the case, and also glued the two halves together to make it look more like a box. Then the next step was to cut slots in the back of the case so that I could attach the leather strap that slides on the strap of my waders. By marking the plastic with a pencil and drawing a box the same length and width of the leather strap, I had the shape I need to cut. Using a razor knife, I proceeded to make my cut. The final step of this process was to sew the leather strap together. I used the blanket stitch technique to sew the two end pieces together. Started sewing. I first punched holes into the leather to make it easier to stick the needle through. The fork looking tool that is on the cutting board is what I used to hammer in the holes. The blanket stitch is quite easy to accomplish. Once sticking the needle through the hole and through, you stick the needle through the loop created and pull tight on the thread, and continue this until you are finished. Once you are finished with the sew, you will then need to tie a knot at the end so the sew won't come apart. And there you have it, a fly box case that can attach to your waders. Thanks for watching.